The last annular solar eclipse of 2019 takes place, forming a spectacular ring of fire around the sun. Prime Minister Modi witnesses celestial event through live stream from Kozhikode and other parts of the country. Also interacts with scientists, which he says enriched his knowledge. Prime Minister Modi slams those indulging in the violent protests against the CAA, says those engaging in such acts must question themselves if they are on the right track. Advises everyone to steer clear of rumours and protect the public property. Indian diaspora holds rallies in support of the CAA in various parts of the country and abroad. Several gather in Austin, Raleigh, New York and Seattle in the US. IIT Bombay students too take out a pro-CAA rally. Another rally in support of the act held in Goa. Army Chief General Bipin Rawat urges students to not lead masses and crowd in arson and violence in the wake of violence taking place during protests against the CAA. Severe cold wave conditions continue in northern India as Srinagar records its coldest night of the season at -4.3 degrees Celsius. Haryana government announces closure of all the government and the private schools today due to intense cold. The Met Department says severe cold wave conditions to continue for the next couple of days. Hello and good afternoon. You're watching Doordarshan News with me, Nancy Kohli. Our top story today is the final solar eclipse of the year 2019. The annular eclipse created a ring of fire in the sky. The rare celestial event is being seen in a number of countries in Europe, Asia, Australia and Africa. Several parts of the country witnessed the last solar eclipse of the decade. The phenomena was a treat for the sky gazers in Kerala, where a perfect ring of fire could be witnessed as the moon covered up the sun in the center. Prime Minister Modi was also among the several enthusiasts who witnessed the annular solar eclipse through live stream. Prime Minister Modi said that though he could not witness the solar eclipse due to cloud cover in the national capital, he managed to have a glimpse of it in Kozhikode through live stream. Prime Minister Modi also posted his pictures trying to see the sun. The Prime Minister said he enriched his knowledge on the subject by interacting with the experts. And later, Prime Minister Modi in a tweet said, I quote, "Like many Indians, I was enthusiastic about solar eclipse 2019. Unfortunately, I could not see the sun due to the cloud cover, but I did catch the glimpses of the eclipse in Kozhikode and other parts on live stream. I also enriched my knowledge on the subject by interacting with the experts." Unquote. The rare celestial phenomena was also seen in the UAE and Colombo. Moving on now, President Ramnath Kovind has said that Swami Vivekananda and his message will continue to inspire the nation, especially the youth of the country. The President was speaking at a special function to mark the 50th year of the Vivekananda Rock Memorial at Vivekananda Kendra in Kanyakumari today. The President also said that year-long Sampark program began on 2nd September by him will remind Indians of Swami Vivekananda's ideals and what the memorial stands for. Tamil Nadu Governor Banwarilal Purohit was also attended the program.
On 2nd September this year, we began the celebrations of the 50 years of the inauguration of the Rock Memorial. On that day, I had the privilege to inaugurate the program called Ek Bharat Vijayi Bharat Sampark Karyakram. As part of the celebrations under this program, the Vivekananda Kendra plans to spread the message of Swamiji to every nook and corner of this land. I am confident that it will make more and more people realize the true significance of the Vivekananda Rock Memorial as a confluence of diversities, unifying them into a spiritual power.
Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh has reiterated that the army is fully capable of safeguarding the borders. He added that whatever action is required on the border is being taken up by the army.
बॉर्डर को लेकर सारे देश को पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त रहना चाहिए, यही मैं कहना चाहूंगा। क्योंकि हमारी सेना इतनी सक्षम है कि जो भी आवश्यक होगा वो सब करेगी। ये आश्वस्त रहिए, जो भी आवश्यक है वहां पर जो भी करना चाहिए वो हमारी सेना कर रही है।
Army Chief General Bipin Rawat condemned the violence taking place during protests against CAA and gave a strong message for students, saying that they must not lead masses and crowds in arson and violence. He said this while addressing Healthcare Leadership Summit 2019.
Leaders are those who lead people in the right direction. Leaders are not those who lead people in appropriate directions. As we are witnessing in a large number of university and college students, the way they are leading masses of crowds to carry out arson and violence in our cities and towns. This is not leadership. A leader is one person who leads you in the correct direction, gives you the right advice, and then ensures that you care for the people you lead.
RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat has said that Sangh regards 130 crore population of India as Hindu society. Speaking at the Vijay Sankalp Sabha in Hyderabad, Mohan Bhagwat said that irrespective of religion and culture, people who have the nationalistic spirit and respect Bharat's culture and heritage are Hindus.
देश काल परिस्थिति अनुरूप आचरण का जो अपने जीवन में आचरण करके पुरस्कार करता है, ऐसा कोई भी हो, किसी भी भाषा का बोलने वाला हो, किसी भी प्रांत का रहने वाला हो, किसी भी उपासना पद्धति में पूजा करने वाला हो या किसी की पूजा न करने वाला हो, वह भारत माता का पुत्र हिंदू है। और इस अर्थ में हमारा 130 करोड़ लोगों का पूरा समाज संघ के लिए हिंदू समाज है। संघ तो सबको अपना मानता है, संघ सबका भला चाहता है, संघ सबको एक सूत्र में पिरोना चाहता है, उन्नत बनाना चाहता है।
Moving on now, well, we received an overwhelming response from our viewers in the polls conducted to find the top landmark initiatives taken by the government in 2019. Here are the top landmark initiatives 2019 as ranked by you, the viewer.
To secure lives of farmers, Prime Minister launches Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana on 12 September 2019 in Ranchi, Jharkhand. The scheme aims to help farmers live a healthy and happy life in old age. Under the scheme, a fixed pension of Rs 3,000 will be provided to all eligible small and marginal farmers. Pension will be paid to farmers from a pension fund managed by Life Insurance Corporation of India. Farmers will have to contribute an amount between Rs 55 to 200 per month in the pension fund till they reach the retirement age. The central government will also make an equal contribution of the same amount in the pension fund. Farmers who are 18 years and above and up to 40 years are eligible to join the scheme. Spouses of small and marginal farmers are also eligible to join the scheme separately. They will also get separate pension of Rs 3,000 when they reach the age of 60 years. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan achieves ODF target before deadline. The Swachh Bharat Mission Grameen achieved its target much before the deadline. Now the sanitation coverage under Swachh Bharat Mission Grameen is 100% and all the 5,99,963 villages have declared themselves open defecation free or ODF. To accelerate the efforts to achieve universal sanitation coverage and to put focus on sanitation, Prime Minister Modi launched Swachh Bharat Mission on 2nd October 2014. The mission was aimed to achieve Swachh Bharat by 2019, a fitting tribute on 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Jal Shakti Abhiyan launched to create awareness. To spread awareness among all stakeholders about compelling need for water conservation, Government of India launched Jal Shakti Abhiyan in 2 phases in all 256 water-stressed districts and in southern states, union territories that received retreating monsoon. During the campaign, officers, groundwater experts and scientists work with the state and district officials in water-stressed districts of the country to promote water conservation and water resource management by focusing on accelerated implementation of 5 target interventions that are water conservation and rainwater harvesting, renovation of traditional and other water bodies and tanks, reuse and recharge of bore wells, watershed development and intensive afforestation. President gives assent to Triple Talaq Bill. President Ram Nath Kovind has given assent to the Triple Talaq Bill passed by Parliament, turning it into a law that makes practice of instant divorce among Muslims a punishable offence. The Act placed an ordinance promulgated on February 21st this year to the same effect. The new law, the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019, makes talaq-e-biddat or any other similar form of talaq having the effect of instantaneous and irrevocable divorce pronounced by a Muslim husband void and illegal. It makes it illegal to pronounce talaq 3 times in spoken, written or through SMS or WhatsApp or any other electronic chat in one sitting. Any Muslim husband who pronounces the illegal form of talaq upon his wife shall be punished with imprisonment for a term that may extend to 3 years and shall also be liable to fine. Corrupt bureaucrats under Modi government scanner. Government employees facing criminal or corruption cases are under scanner of the Modi administration that is in process of weeding out bad elements from bureaucracy as part of efforts to ensure high integrity and standards. Since June this year, shortly after the Modi government took charge for the 2nd term, many employees, including commissioner rank officers, have been compulsorily retired by the Central Board of Direct Taxes (CBDT) on various charges, including corruption. The central government has asked all the cadre controlling authorities to establish a mechanism to identify the dead wood and compulsorily retire them after thorough examination of their service records. Major boost for auto industry. To achieve clean energy target, the GST Council has brought down the GST rate on electric vehicles to 5% from 12%. The move has come as a shot in the arm for the auto industry that has been pushing for a tax boost to promote the sale of electric vehicles. The move comes at a time when the government is already in the process of making EVs affordable. The electric vehicle manufacturers had been asking for a cut in the GST rate on vehicles as higher cost of acquisition and inadequate infrastructure deterred people from looking at electric vehicles. EWS quota in government jobs, education. In a major move, 10% of quota was cleared by the Modi government in job and education for economically weaker sections, meeting a key demand. The proposed reservation is over and above the existing 50% reservation enjoyed by the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other backward classes. Persons will be excluded from the benefits of reservation if their families own or possess 5 acres of agricultural land and above, residential flat of 1,000 square feet and above, residential plot of 100 square yards and above in notified municipalities, residential plot of 200 square yards and above in areas other than the notified municipalities, and any immovable property worth more than rupees 1 crore. Centre's 10% quota does not impact the existing reservation benefits for Dalits, Tribals and OBCs. The Constitution 124th Amendment Bill 2019 was introduced and passed in Lok Sabha by Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment Tharchand Gehlot on January 8, 2019. The bill seeks to provide for advancement of economically weaker sections of citizens. Pre-dawn Indian airstrike. On February 26th, in a swift airstrike, India pounded Jaish-e-Mohammad's biggest training camp in Pakistan in the aftermath of the dastardly Pulwama attack, in which around 40 CRPF jawans were martyred. The pre-dawn operation, described as non-military and preemptive, struck a 5-star resort-style camp on a hilltop forest that provided Indian forces with a sitting duck target and caught the terrorists in their sleep. In a synchronized operation, fighter and other aircraft took off from several air bases in Western and Central Commands at about the same time, leaving Pakistan defense officials confused about where they were heading. A small group of aircraft broke away from the swarm and headed to Balakot, where the sleeping terrorists were sitting ducks for the Indian bombing. This is the first time since the 1971 war that India has used air power against Pakistan. Citizenship Amendment Bill gets President's assent, becomes an act. President Ram Nath Kovind gave his assent to Citizenship Amendment Bill 2019, turning it into an act. According to the Act, members of Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi and Christian communities who have come from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan till December 31st, 2014 and facing religious persecution there will not be treated as illegal immigrants but given Indian citizenship. The Act says refugees of the 6 communities will be given Indian citizenship after residing in India for 5 years instead of earlier requirement of 11 years. The Act also proposes to give immunity to such refugees facing legal cases after being found as illegal migrants. According to the legislation, it will not be applicable to tribal areas of Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura as included in the 6th schedule of the Constitution, and in the areas covered under the Inner Line Permit notified under Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation 1873. Protests were witnessed across the nation over the move. President declares abrogation of provisions of Article 370. President Ram Nath Kovind declared abrogation of provisions of Article 370 of the Constitution that gave special status to Jammu Kashmir on August 7th. Even after both houses of Parliament passed a resolution that the BJP-led government would invoke the special status of Jammu Kashmir and bifurcate the border state into union territories. Secure Parliament's approval with Lok Sabha passing resolutions with over 2,000 majority. As per Jammu Kashmir Reorganization Act, the state is divided into 2 separate union territories. Territory of Jammu Kashmir with legislative assembly and the other is union territory of Ladakh without legislative assembly.
Moving on now to some weather news. Severe cold wave conditions continue in northern India. It was freezing cold in most parts of northern states on Christmas Day, with Srinagar recording its coldest night of the season at minus 4.3 degrees Celsius that froze water supply lines at several places. Leh in the Union Territory of Ladakh recorded a low of minus 17.8 degrees Celsius. The weathermen say that Ladakh will remain dry and cold for the next week. Kashmir is currently under the grip of Chilai Kalan, the 40-day harshest period of the winter, when the chances of snowfall are most frequent and the maximum temperature drops considerably. Cold conditions prevailed in Haryana and Punjab as well and is likely to continue for the next 2 days. On Wednesday, Narnaul was the coldest recorded place in Haryana at 3.2 degrees Celsius. Haryana government has meanwhile ordered closure of the schools today in view of the intense cold wave conditions. And according to the Met Department, the severe cold wave accompanied by fog is expected in parts of Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and North Rajasthan today. The weather office said that thunder showers are expected at some places in the plains and the low hills of Himachal Pradesh. And moving on now, a typhoon that swept across remote villages and popular tourist areas of central Philippines on Christmas Day has claimed at least 16 lives. Typhoon Phanphone, with winds of 195 kilometers per hour, tore roofs of houses and toppled electric poles as it cut across the Philippines on Wednesday. With the internet and mobile phone network still cut off in some badly damaged areas, a full assessment of Phanphone's damage was not immediately possible this morning. Phanphone also hit Boracay, Coron and other holiday destinations that are famed for their white sand beaches and popular with the foreign tourists. And moving on now to news from around the world, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson has said that the trade teams for both the countries were in close contact. Both the sides' economic and trade teams are in close communication about detailed arrangements for the deal signing and other follow-up work. US President Donald Trump has said that he and Chinese President Xi Jinping will have a signing ceremony to sign the first phase of the US-China trade deal agreed to this month. United States trade representatives said that the representatives from both the countries would sign the Phase 1 trade deal agreement in the first week of January. Russian and Syrian airstrikes have driven thousands of civilians far from Idlib and have forced them to settle inside mosques, schools and makeshift camps. As government forces have thrust into the southeast of Idlib over the past 2 weeks, thousands of people have fled Marat al-Numan. A Russian-led aerial bombing campaign has held Syrian government forces close in on the strategic city, a major factor in the civilian fight further north, closer to the Turkish border. On to sports news now. Indian tennis ace Leander Paes has announced that 2020 will be his last year as a professional tennis player. The 46-year-old have won India many accolades, will bid adieu to the sport after next season. He announced on Twitter that he will be picking and choosing tournaments next year to meet his fans all around the world. Paes, who's the most successful doubles player in the history of Davis Cup with 44 wins, recently dropped out of top 100 for the first time in 19 years. And moving on now, getting your ground report. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana has given a new direction to the lives of youth in the country. This scheme is imparting the youth with skills to help them become self-reliant. Many youth have benefited from the scheme in the Bankura district of West Bengal. Take a look at this ground report.
Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana was launched primarily for skilling the educated unemployed youth. For this, Kaushal Vikas Kendra have been set up in every district of the country. The scheme is helping convert a large part of this section into skilled workforce. The Kaushal Vikas Kendra in Bankura imparts training in 5 industry-relevant disciplines, and after completing their training, the youth got jobs in bigger cities like Delhi and Chennai. They are hopeful about their future and thank this scheme, which is helping them fulfill their dreams.
I have enrolled myself in the attendant course under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana and I am being trained here for free. I am learning a lot of new things and hope to find myself a good new job.
I am being trained here for free under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. I am learning a lot here. The course is helping me learn many new things. I am grateful to the government for this initiative.
I have enrolled myself in the beauty course and I am getting trained for free. At the moment, they are teaching us the importance of maintaining hygiene. I hope to get a good job soon.
In Bankura district, over 900 candidates have undergone training at the skill training center in various fields, out of which about 50% have already got placements. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is playing a pivotal role in helping them fulfill their dreams and stand on their own feet. Bureau Report, DD News.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. Thanks for being with us.